So this is our 150cc turbo drift kart, and in this video, we're finally gonna ride this thing for the first time with boost. In the last video, we fitted a smaller turbo on this thing and got it running for the first time, and we got to hear some turbo flutter. But before we even think about riding this thing, we've got a lot of work to do. So first things first, let's strip this thing down to a bare frame. It's finally time to lay down some paint on this thing, and I've chosen a crazy color that you'll see later in the video. First, we need to strip this thing down to a bare frame so we can start the prep work. Tiny turbo. Look at this thing, it's so cute. I love it. That has to be the world's cutest turbo kit. Take one last look at this janky kart as we strip down the last few parts ready for this crazy transformation. And just like that, our frame is fully stripped down, and it's crazy to see just how big this thing is compared to what it was when we started building this thing. But man, we have a lot of welding and work to do. So basically what I'm gonna do now is grind a bunch of this ugly stuff down, and then I'm gonna re-weld the whole frame and try and get it looking as nice as possible. The goal by the end of this video is to have this thing fully painted and assembled for the final time. Honestly, this thing is going to be unrecognizable by the time we're finished, but right now, let's get to work grinding and welding. Look, we can't all be professional welders, and a lot of the welds I've done on this frame are less than perfect. So I'm grinding them back and going over them again in an effort to tidy them up. I used some Newlon brake cleaner on the underside to clean off oil residue from the motor before finishing off the welding, and just like that, we're ready to lay down some paint. Now, I know it probably doesn't look like much on camera, but that is a huge job ticked off the list. And I know it's all multicolored at the moment, so it looks kind of ugly, but trust me, once we get this in full paint, I reckon it's going to look awesome. But what color are we going to paint this thing? Well, I went down and saw our friends at Complete Auto Paints. They sought me out for all of my painting needs. This is definitely not a sponsored post, but these guys are really awesome. So if you want to go check them out, Complete Auto Paints, they are in Springvale. But as you can see, they've done us a Mike Lake custom violet. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't actually know exactly how this color looks. So we started with the midnight purple from a Nissan GTR, but we decided that will be a little too dark on a frame like this because there's not a huge surface area. There's no big panels. A color like midnight purple would probably be a bit too dark and it would just look kind of black. So we added a bunch more of the lighter tint that you put into that midnight purple, and we came up with Mike Lake custom violet. So if you guys like the color that we're about to paint this thing and you want it, head down to Complete Auto Paints, ask for this color, and they can mix you up a can. Now, the other cool thing about this process is we are using a purple primer that they mixed up for me as well. That means that the coverage with the paint is a lot better because it's not a gray primer, and since it's already purple, it should come out super nice. And finally, we are going to clear it with the gun to give this thing an absolutely awesome, beautiful gloss finish. But enough chit chat, let's open these roller doors, get out into the sun, and let's get painting. Lucky for us, it's a gorgeous sunny day, perfect for laying down some paint. I tried hanging the frame up at first and laid down some of our awesome purple primer, but I actually found it easier placing the frame on a table on some axle stands, as I could get into the hard to reach places of the frame much easier. Well, it's really cool to see this thing all one color, but now is where the magic happens because we're spraying on our custom Mike Lake violet, whatever that means. Holy crap, that is such a cool color. Oh my god. That color shift is honestly crazy. I'm so happy with this color. So this looks absolutely insane, but we have one more step to make this thing absolutely pop, and that is of course the clear coat. I always prefer to clear with a gun as I can never quite get the same results from a can. This is freaking wild, holy crap. Laying down the clear coat is always my favorite part. It's the reward at the end of a really hard job where you get to see the color absolutely pop. So the paint is finally dried and this thing came up amazing, and now is the fun part because we get to put this whole thing back together. It's the big reward after all of the hard work. And honestly, I can't wait to put the world's smallest turbo kit back on this kart. Look at this, I've even heat wrapped our J-pipe as well, our turbo manifold, and it looks absolutely fantastic. Before we start the reassembly phase, I'm making some custom foot plates as this section of the kart always really annoyed me. I cut a template out of cardboard and marked it out on some steel before before cutting out the shape with the grinder. So we're using this adhesive grip tape that you get from Bunnings on our foot plates, and that's going to make them look way tidier, but obviously it also serves a purpose because it's actually grippy for our feet. It's pretty much like vinyl wrap, this stuff. You peel off the white, it's sticky on the back, stick it on, good to go. Then I use an old screwdriver to mark around the sides of the foot plates before using a knife to cut away the excess grip tape. This creates a super clean cut. That is so good, look at that. Amazing. And then this just goes here. Just like that, and look at that. Foot plates done. Well, foot plate is done. And it just looks super nice against our beautifully painted new frame. We're using Sikaflex to mount the foot plates in place. This stuff is super strong and I use it on more things than I'd like to admit. But I'm really happy with the end result. The foot plates look super clean. Time to start mounting our axles to get this thing sitting on all 4 wheels again. First wheel going on, let's go. Yes, even seeing just one wheel on this thing, it looks so good already. Alright, time to keep this momentum going and get these front wheels on. Yeah, dude, look at this. I can't help myself, I'm too excited, so we're gonna fit the wing on this thing. I wanna see how this looks. Sometimes I think it's just better to roll with the ADD urges and get the fun things done to keep the momentum rolling. The purple and the black just goes so nicely together. I am absolutely wrapped with that. Next up, we're fitting the steering column and the front lip, and now this thing's ready to go back on the ground. And just like that, the Kart is back on the ground and on all 4 wheels. So now it's time for the important parts, and that's throwing the motor back into the Kart. We've got to throw the tie rods on, intercooler, exhaust, everything like that. But then is the fun part, because I think we should at least get to fire this thing up. If not, we can take it for its first drive today. So first things first, let's throw the motor in. I've got my friend Maddie here from New Zealand. He's going to give me a hand because, well, your boy's getting old and I don't want to hurt my back putting this motor in the Kart. So thank you, Maddie. I appreciate you. Let's go. So in goes the motor, and this is a pretty monumental moment for the build, made easier by our SP Tools electric ratchet. This thing's actually super handy. I love this tool. So the engine is in the Kart, which is awesome. We've actually put rubber on under the feet of the motor when we've bolted it up because it's so, like, there's so many vibrations when you're running this motor, so I'm trying to minimize that. So we'll fit rubber under it between the frame and the engine. Fingers crossed that that stops everything rattling to pieces, because you honestly have to bolt this check thing. Because you honestly have to bolt check this thing after every ride because it rattles so much, and also your ass hurts. But we are installing the most important part of my mind of this whole thing, and that is the turbo manifold that we have heat wrapped. Look at that, it looks so much better now because we've covered up my janky ass weld. It's gonna look so much more tidy. It's a little bit of a squeeze to get it in, but boom, look at that, fits perfectly. And then we've got our brace that we welded off the frame here as well to brace the turbo so that all the weight's not on the turbo manifold. Next up, we refitted our freshly painted fully adjustable tie rods for the steering system. So we officially have steering on this thing. It's so good. Look how much locked it is. That's actually redonkulous. So now, the moment we've all been waiting for. A full custom turbo, we're bolting it on to the Kart. Ooh. Thoughts, feelings, opinions? Love?
I'm sure there'll be plenty of opinions.
From you, I mean. Well, you always have something
Looks great,
to say.
mate.
Looks great?
Looks great.
Look at this thing. It's freaking huge. It takes up almost the same amount of room as a car in the shop. It's not good.
It's big.
It's big, baby. So now, time to install the baby intercooler. I'm pretty sure this would be one of the world's smallest functional intercoolers. And yes, it actually does cool the boost going into the motor. Plus, I absolutely love the way it looks. Next up, we installed the fuel system, handbrake, shifter, and I custom made this wee plate for our throttle pedal using a thin plate of aluminium, which worked perfectly. So we've nearly got this thing fully assembled and it's looking absolutely insane. And we've really only got a few more things to fit onto the Kart before we can take it for a ride. We do need to fit the exhaust and we need to fit the seat. But there is one part of this build that I have been procrastinating, and that is the dreaded wiring. I hate wiring. So we somehow need to take this bird's nest and make it look presentable enough to fit on this Kart. And now that this thing looks so freaking good, well, I don't have any excuse. I need to spend the next couple of hours tidying all of this up and making it fit for purpose. this. But before we do that, I do have a wee surprise to show you guys. So previously we were running this steering wheel and it looked a little bit janky the way we had it set up on the cart. But then I thought, what if we had a quick release steering wheel on this thing? And it just so happens we had a spare quick release hub here at the shop. And I found this tiny steering wheel that came with one of my sim racing rigs. And look at this. It's absolutely perfect for this cart. Watch this. Boom. Quick release steering wheel on the drift cart, and it's giving major Super Mario Kart vibes now with this thing. It's even got the racing stripe, but look at it. So good. Boom. Smash to lock. And it just suits the cart now that we've got the purple and black theme going on throughout it, and we've even got the little Angry Boy horn button here as well. How freaking good, guys. But now we need to go ahead and do the wiring. So enjoy this next wee time lapse as I punish myself for the next 2 hours wiring up the cart. But then we can start it, which is really exciting, so let's go. So as you can see here, I started to do the wiring, and I promise you I intended to finish it. But then I thought, nah, I'd much rather get this thing running and driving. So I threw in some fresh Newlon oil, and as you're about to see, I got a little carried away doing a shed skid. But I'm gonna throw the exhaust on this thing before we start it, because otherwise it's just gonna be annoying and too loud, even though it's super loud with our straight pipe exhaust anyway. Let's go. I love this exhaust, man, but it definitely needs a muffler put in it because it's so loud. Grab our handy dandy V-band clamp. Oh, it's a bit dirty. That's so much better. Make sure that the bolt's facing outwards so that it's easy to do up. All right, exhaust is on. The battery is flat from sitting for so long, so I think no. So luckily we have our Optima battery here, so we're gonna jump start this thing just like you would with a car, which is pretty cool. This thing is literally a mini drift car. Throw that negative on, boom. Let's go! So you know those situations where you find yourself completely sidetracked and doing something completely unexpected? So since we have this thing started, I've tied it to the hoist right here, and I want to load this thing up and see if we can hear a little bit more of this turbo flutter, maybe even see if this thing will do a skid. This may be a really bad idea. All right, here we go. That was insane. Holy shit. I may have got a little bit carried away there, but man, that was fun. Look at this. Literally glowing red hot. Holy crap. Look, it works. That is definitely getting boost 100%. That is crazy. So we've established this thing actually works. So we're going to skip the wiring part for now. I'm gonna leave it as is. And we're gonna take this thing for its first ride because I really wanted to get some riding footage in this video for you guys. So I'm gonna put the GPS on the GoPro for you guys so you guys can actually see how fast we're going. I am slightly nervous. Dan is here behind the camera with me, and he is also gonna have a ride of this thing. Last time you rode this, you stacked it.
Correct. It was not fun. I'm kind of terrified, but...
I'm terrified!
We'll see how we go.
First, we're gonna do a bolt check. Make sure it's actually tight. Then we're gonna wheel it outside. So we gave this thing a quick eyeball alignment, made sure all the bolts were tight so that it was safe to ride, and it was finally time to wheel this thing outside and see if all of our hard work has paid off. Look at this thing. It looks insane. So So here we go. After all of this hard work, many hours put into this kart, it's time to take this thing for its first ride. Am I scared? Absolutely. All right, helmet for safety. And of course, we've got the night ride racing gloves as well. That's sick. The turbo's good. The turbo's real good. Honestly, it is absolutely crazy. I don't know if you can hear the turbo noise because I'm so concentrating on not dying. You can feel the turbo kicking big time. Yep. You can hear the turbo so loud. That is so loud. Dan, give me your first thoughts and opinions on this kart.
It feels insane, and the pops and bangs, crazy. Sounds so good.
Man, the turbo flutter from the outside, like, it sounds so good, man.
Yeah. Well, when you went on, like, you could hear it so clearly from, like, watching.
Yeah.
When you're on it, you can't really hear it.
Yeah, because you're being deafened by the exhaust.
Yeah,
it has turbo flutter, it's making boost, it's freaking doing the thing. I mean, this thing's on E85. It's actually just so stupid when you think about it. But let's throw the drift sleeves on and see if we can get sideways on this thing. I'm sure we can because, yeah, it wants to get sideways with rubber on, so
it'd be rude not to.
Let's go. Letting the pressures down so we can get the sleeves over the tires. And then these are the sleeves here, you just buy them off eBay. They literally just slip over the tires, then you pump the tires up with the air and they catch on these like groove things on the inside. So these are specifically made for drifting. All right, I want to try the reverse gear because apparently this has reverse. Let's go, baby. Oh, it's so good. All right, no drifting in the workshop. We did it. We freaking did it, man. We freaking did it. Oh my Lord, look, we had a front wing failure. But
It's all right, it's all right.
if you watch Formula One, you know that stuff happens all the time, even with the big dogs, so it's all good.
This is a bit cheaper than...
That's it. That was the best, man. I'm so happy. The kart works better than I honestly could have expected. That's a janky tune on it as well. We haven't even had it on the dyno. And we probably pushed it a little harder than we should have just then. Like, we absolutely, wow, I'm just over the moon, dude. So thank you guys so much for watching. That is this video done. But we will be doing another video on this kart because we need to finish the wiring, tidy it all up. There's a couple more things I want to do. But if there are things you want to see me do on this kart, hit us up in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and massive adrenaline dump. I'm so happy. Thank you guys. See you in the next video. Peace. Bye. Bye, Daniel.
Bye.